To, re- to recap to the previous activities, we have discussed about we are discussing about the work process administration. Work process administration. This is the main topic. In this work process only, we have the 7 family members, right? D, V, E, B, M, G, S. Here, D means dialogue work process, right? So dialogue work process. In the dialogue work process, so here the responsibility of the dialogue work process is to take the user request and process the user request. Take the user request and process the user request. So which means whenever the user logs into the SAP system, so this dialog work process will take your request and will process it. Then after that, so after that the user done some transactions or something is done, then immediately the update work process will update work process will update the user records, the update records into, so table level, database table level, it will update it. So that is the two work process which we discussed. The transaction code of the dialog work process are SM50 and SM66. 50, 66, there is a difference. 50 is the local work process overview. The 66 is the global work process overview. Local means within the same application server, we can see the work process status and all these things we can see in the same application server. We can see the work process status here, right? You can see. So someone started the SWPM, sorry, SGen. So within the same system, we can monitor it. So what is the status of the work process? How many are waiting, running? We can see here, right? This is the one application server. It's like dev02 application server. You have multiple application server, then go to the SM66. Here you can see the multiple application server status in the one glance. You can see here. One glance in the all the instances under the SID, how many application servers are there, all these things you can see in the one SID. You can see all these things. Multiple application servers means whenever suppose, so you have, suppose currently this is your SAP system. Tomorrow you want to build suppose the load is very high. Instead of increasing the more dialog work process, just if you add the one more application server, like that, you can add the application servers to your SID development, so that it will perform the load balancing, which means instead of all the loads going to this application server, so this application server, then remaining also will take the load, so that this three equally distribute the load, then it will perform the activities, user load activities and everything. So that in this case, there is no burden to any one of the application server here. If you don't have two, only one person means, so one person. So all the load, if you give to one person, what will happen? So that guy, he will do his level best. He will do, so the particular time he will go 6 status, server will be gone down status, then entire business will be halt. Business will be stopped, right? The business servers will be stopped and users cannot do any transactions. So this may happen. So to avoid this type of issues, what we will do, we can install the one more application server. If the business is growing, you can install the one more application server. It's very simple. Just adding the application servers, it's very simple. We can add it. We can add the additional application servers. We can add it. So that all the application server, when you are adding the application server, each application server you will get the dialog work process update 5 work process, you will get it out, right? So if you are seeing in SM50, you will only see only that application server related work process. You can see it here. If you go to SM66 global, which means all work process of all the instances. If you have the hundreds of work process, hundreds related in hundreds of instances, hundreds related in here, you can see it here. That is the main thing here. So here, adding the application server means it's not going into the SAP MMC, not adding. We need to install the app server. We need to install the app server. Go to the, we need to install the app server. So go to the SWPM, then kernel you required, you can add the application server. So that is also important. I will show you. Okay. So that is also, so maybe whenever there is a, but in these systems are there live. So then now you cannot go ahead and add it. Why? Because we don't have any space and to add it anything. So it will be slow, right? So that's not possible to add it now. So if you uninstall, if you clear the space, then only we can add the new app server, we can add it. Okay. So that is the main thing here. See here. So here systems also getting slow. Systems also getting hung because of the space. If you don't have the space, what will happen? The database will not commit any transactions in the systems. Many are there here. So I would request you to, so clear, delete whatever your downloads are there, delete it. Okay. So this is the way here. Okay. So this we discussed SM50, SM66, and also we discussed about the updates. If you go to the SM13, you see the update failures and everything. We can see it from SM13. Either the update is active or not. Are there any failed updates? Just you can select OK button. So then you will see the whether the updates are there or not. You will come to know here. You will come to know. So here. So that based on that, yes, so there are no zero updates, means there are no failures here. So that we are good. If any failures, then we need to worry. If the zero means nothing is failure, so that we are good. This is what we discussed in the yesterday's class up to updates we discussed. Now today in the DBE completed, then we have the E for NQ work process, E for NQ work process, right? So NQ work process is responsible for the locking mechanism. Locking mechanism means, so locking mechanism means, suppose so you are doing some transaction code at the same time another person also doing the transaction code, transaction, it will lock your transaction. Lock means, so suppose example, for next example, so this is the train ticket or bus ticket. So this is the bus ticket. So in the bus, I just went to the window 32 seat number. Seat number 32 here, right? So here I am there from one city. I am trying to book the ticket. Here also one more person is there here, right? One more person. I am trying to book the same ticket. Same ticket is visible for the multiple persons. But whoever go and lock the ticket, lock the ticket means whoever will click the ticket, the same time you also here, and also this person also trying to book the ticket here. But you locked the ticket, is also locked the ticket. But whenever you locked the ticket, right? First time you locked the ticket, first you locked the ticket. Then in this case, so this transaction, this seat, it will show here only display mode only. Display mode means you can only, this transaction is being already processing by some other user. Please use another seat or something like that. It will ask you. Means otherwise we may get this something like this ticket is, this seat is already reserved, something like that. We may get the status, right? We may face issues maybe generally. Same here also in SAP also. So whenever in the same SAP system, here I'm editing the one of the company code I'm editing here, right? The same time, one more person is the person is editing here. The same time, if I am also trying to edit it here, then he will face like, okay, this transaction is already being edited by some other person. So please, you have only display access. Please try again after some time, like that you may get the message. So how you are getting here? Here, whenever you commit the transaction, whenever you're logging, so immediately the NQ work process will lock it. NQ work process will lock it. Why? Because NQ mechanism is the locking. Locking means holding the transaction until you finish it, until you come out of the transaction, until you will lock it. So that, so it won't give any inconsistency. Why? Because if there is no NQ mechanism here, what will happen? This person also booked the ticket, you also booked the ticket, one seat, two persons, then at the same time, we both will go for the journey state. What will happen? You both have to fight, right? So that is the reason. So whoever wins, that person will go and sit into the ticket. But that is not the correct procedure, right? So the system will allow one seat only for one person, not the multiple persons, right? So in this case, SAP also will do the same thing here. SAP also will do the same thing. SAP also will do the same thing here. Okay. So let me take one capture here. So here SAP also will do the same thing here. Sir, where can we check? If we go to the SM12, here we can see which user locked, what transactions they locked it, which user, so what transactions he locked. So here nothing is there. Why? Because so no one is doing anything in the system. All right. So here, but if I take one more session here, if I take one more session here, then what I will do here, here I will go to the one of the transaction, maybe suppose I'm going to the one of the transaction code. I'm trying to create the one assignment here, one group. I'm trying to create it here, just for example, right? So here you also went to the, you are also trying to add, going to the one more transaction, same transaction code means it will give the information like boss. So the person is already locked by basis user, already basis user is locked, only you have the display possible. It is locked by that person, it will give the information. So why it is giving the information means, if you go SM12, in SM12, as soon as that person is so in doing some edit, then we can see the that the person related lock entries we can see here. The exclusive lock, which means only that particular person can be edit here. The lock argument, what is the table is trying to edit it, when it was started, what is the username, client, all these things here. Sometimes what he will do, he is doing editing, then he will go away, he will log off. Tomorrow is the holiday, so he will log off, then he will go. Still this session is locked here. Still the session is locked here. Then he cannot do any transactions here. Then in this case, what next? He will not do any transactions here. Maybe other person will not do any transactions or any changes in the system. Why? Because that got locked here. So in this case, so as a basis they will report the basis consultant. So in this case, if any lock entry which are older than 24 hours, any lock entry which are older than 24 hours, we can take the approval, then delete it. Just delete it. We can delete it, delete the lock entry. So this is the delete button. You can see this is the delete button. This is the details button. This is the refresh button. And this is the select all, deselect all, descending order, ascending order, filter conditions. Then, so you can export to the local. You can also send the mail recipients. If you want to print, you can print it out. So all this information you have available here. Or you can go to the here, then delete all. You have the options. Same options are available in the text wise. Same options are available in the icons wise here. Okay. Just to get familiarize all these options and everything while practicing. Okay. So this is the lock entries removal and the lock entry here. So now another person can go to the SMLG, another person, then they can do the transactions, right? So previously I cannot do. Why? Because so lock entry is exist. So now I can do the transactions. Why? Because so that entry I removed, that lock entry I removed, so that I can go ahead and so create the new assignment, new groups, everything I can create it. So this is the usage of the usage of the locking enqueue here. Who is helping? Who is helping here? Here enqueue work process is helping for locking for consistency purpose. Otherwise, without enqueue server, there will be a inconsistency in the database level. There will be a inconsistency in the database level. Why? Because you also creating, he is also creating, both are creating at the same time. Which one has to take it? Which one has to store in the database level? So there is a dilemma, right? So that to avoid this one, at a time, only one person can be possible to edit it, right? So please make sure. So only something is some person is editing means only that person has to log off or come out of that screen. Then only another person can do the editing option. But until then, he has the display access to edit it. All right. This is the NQ locking mechanism. Okay. Without NQ, so we may have the some inconsistencies, we may face it. Sometimes user will lock the transactions, then immediately he will go to the offline status. So that he got some phone from his favorite person. Then he went to the so he's he went to the outside. Then is continuously 24 hours is on call. He forgot to properly unlock the screen, right? Then it will impact the other persons to do the transaction, right? So that is the person. Normally we see whenever you log into any government sites or any ticketing tools or red bus ticket booking, that time, so when you see the ticket is available, when you refresh and when see the ticket is already reserved, it means some other person already booking that one, right? We may see that type of issues. But when you see after half an hour, if that person is not booked again, the seat is available. Again, you can go ahead and book it, right? So that may things happen. Maybe most of the time that whenever the IRCTC, whenever you're booking some tickets in the IRCTC, so when you select it, that is available. When you click open, do the transaction, payment is done, yeah, already it's booked by some other person, right? You may face maybe in a real life, you may face different type of issues, right? Because of this NQ. Who is helping means in the back end system, NQ process will help to lock your ticket or transactions and everything in the system, right? NQ will help. NQ is helping here. Okay, so that is the process of the NQ work process here. Okay, so that is the process here. Sometimes, so yeah, sometimes the developers, anyone who wants to do some editing, he may forget. So then definitely another person cannot do the transaction. That time they will come to the basis team. So if we are unable to log in means, then we have to go to the SM12, see what is causing the issue. Then you can go ahead and so we can go ahead and just remove the lock entries from the systems. So that lock entry we can remove it. See here, one more person he locked it. So that like that we can lock the entries. We can lock the entries in the systems. This is the way we can do the transactions in the systems, right? This is the NQ work process which is doing in the systems. Okay, so this is the one. Now let's try to discuss the one more topic, that is called the one more work process, that is called the here background jobs, background work process. It's a very important work process. This is the first topic which you have to concentrate on your interview point of time or in the real time. Remaining all are the normal, they may ask you or not, I cannot confirm, but this is the very important topic, background jobs, background work process, right? It's a very important background work process. It is interesting also. Background work process. So what does it mean by background work process here? What is mean by background work process? So background work process are responsible to run in the background. If any user action, it will run in the background. If any user action, that will run in the background without any manual intervention, that will be without any manual intervention. So that background work process will run in the back end, which means, so here what we have to do, we need to schedule one job here, so that in the dialog mode, users will log in and he will do some manual actions, some manual interventions he will do. So instead of we doing daily that manual activities, we will ask developer to develop some programs, some reports, so that reports, if you schedule it, we can run in the back end without any manual intervention. If you set some timelines, automatically system will take care of that jobs and everything. Suppose monthly payrolls, right? Messages, monthly documents, payrolls, everything automatically we are getting here. The job will run, payroll job will run. If they are using the SAP for the payrolls purpose, the job will run, that job will run, and the job will So send the payments to the our systems, like monthly jobs, like every month that will run it. Salary jobs, month payroll jobs, which means payroll jobs. That kind of jobs we may, so we may check it out, right? So that is the background work process. Background work process is responsible to run the your things, like background work process is responsible to run the background jobs. Job, what is job means? Job is a set of actions which will complete as per your timelines. As per your timelines, whatever the times you want to run it. So you want to run next 1 hour. If you schedule it every day, every time, every day, morning hours you want to run. Every month, 31st, you want to get the salary. Then if you schedule that job, one job, set of actions, then that will be executed. That will be executed in the systems. That will be executed in the systems. Okay. So that is the background job. The job is like set of actions. It will be performed in the systems. So here we will use the SM36 and SM37 are the two transaction codes for the background job administration purpose. Two transaction code for the background job administration, right? So normally, before we go and discuss about the background jobs, we have the two transaction codes. So there is a dependency. SA38 or SE38 are for SA38 or SE38 are for the to run the programs or reports. These are the developer related transaction codes above team. They will run the programs and reports using the SA38 or SE38. So these are the two transaction codes which are responsible to run the programs and reports in the systems. Normally they will go to the system here. So SA38 or SE38, both are same. So one is the direct execution. They will go to the here, they will enter the program here. The programs which they develop it, they will enter the programs here. So that program we need to enter here. We need to click on the execute button. That program will be executed. That program will be executed here. So immediately it will be executed. I don't want to run immediately. I don't want to run immediately. I want to run. So every day it has to run means you know you have to log in and every day you have to run it, right? You don't want to run that one every day with manual intervention. System automatically will run it. In that case, you need to schedule that one. Normally, if you see here, so there's some reports. The reports will start with the RS star. The reports will start with the RS star. So which means every day RS star, the report will run it in the systems, right? So you see here, so one of the report I am just scheduling here. One of the report I'm scheduling in the system. I'm going to the SA38 here. So there is a one report. I want to execute this report. I want to execute this report. This report will run automatically. This will run the report. It will give the results to the users, right? This will give the results to the users. I want to this run. Manually, I'm running every day. I want running manually so that number of users, how many inconsistencies, all this swing thing as into the users. No, I don't want to run every time here. I want to create a one job here so that the job will run automatically. So as per your timelines, that will run it. System will run it without you log in or not. System will take care of the set of actions in the systems. So normally, if you want to run manually, you have to go to the SA38 or SE38. Then if you want to create the program, SE38 is for the creation of the programs, reports, where all these things you can create it here. Programs and everything you can create it. But it's not our responsibility to create the programs, reports. It's like functional team is responsible. So they will, the developers, they are responsible to create the programs and everything. They will go ahead and they will create the reports and everything. In SAP, we have some standard reports. It starts with the RS star, which means, so it will be automatically as part of the installation, you will get some data you will get, so you can run it here. Some data you will get some data here, right? This is the program execution. This is the execution of the So programs and reports. Normally, execution of the programs and reports has to perform from these two transaction code. Manually, you have to execute it. So now I don't want to execute manually every day. I want to create the job. Then go to the SM36 here. Go to the SM36 here. So what is the job name? You can put anything here. Job name, you can put anything here, right? Anything you can put the job name here. Job name, you can give anything here, right? Suppose, so like user, so suppose like I'm setting address, ADDRE, address check. I want to check, create this job name to check all the users address and everything. Then job class, A class, B class, or C class. Priority, is this job very important or normal? It's not important. So like that, you need to set the one job here. You need to set the job here. So priorities, you have to set it out here. So that, so this is the job creation. In SM36, we are going to create the job. SM36 is for the creation of the so background jobs. Background jobs, we can do that one. Creation of the background jobs. So that you create the job. In that job, you give the program name. Whatever the programs you are manually executing, you give the program name, so that this job will take care of the automatic execution, some automations, right? It will execution of the automatic. So that is what here it is creating here in the systems. 3 here, class A, B, C, maybe medial priority, not that much, that my job is that much of important, so that you can create that one, right? So job name here you have given here. Then go to the job steps here, right? The creation of the jobs, like you have to go to the SM36 job creation. Go to the SM job creation. How to create the job means go to the SM36, then give the job name, then so provide the job name and priority, then go to the job step. Step means here, so 3 types of job steps are there here. So either you want to run the above program or external commands or external programs you want to run it. Which one you want to run it? Suppose above program, which means programs which are developed by our above parts, that program has to execute it to get the results. So that program has to result it. So no external commands means some OS level commands that you have to execute it. So not only within the SAP commands, so you can also run the some external commands and external programs also you can run it. External means outside, not in the SAP. Outside of the SAP also, you can, SAP will go and run the outside of the commands also, it will go ahead and run it. So for now, you can run only on the above programs. You can run the above program. That program name you can provide it here. What is the program which you have to run it manually, automatically? Then click on the save button. Click on the save button. Give the program name, any one of the program, not only this program. You can give any program. So just schedule it. Who will give this requirement to us means our development team, our functional team, they will give the requirement to schedule a background job. So that time, this job scheduling is our basis responsibility. We have to come and we have to schedule it here. Then when you schedule it here, just go to the back button here. Then step you have defined. One step you have defined here. Then go to the startup conditions, right? Here, startup conditions, like job steps are 3 types, right? Either the above program, external command, then external programs. 3 types of job steps are there here. So anything you can give it, anything, job will run anything. Normally above programs we will give it, we have given the above programs. Then what next? The next step is like to give the job startup conditions. Job startup conditions. So here job startup conditions are total 6 types actually. Suppose you want to run immediately, you want to run the immediately to the job. Yes, I want to run the job immediately. Suppose if you go here, you want to run the job immediately, then click on the immediately. No, I don't want to run the job immediately. I want to run the as per the timelines. So just set the time, tomorrow time. Maybe you want to run the job. After one job is running, you want to run after this job, then you can schedule it. After the event, maybe you can schedule it. After the operational mode, you can schedule it here, the operational mode name. So this way you can write it. No, I want to run the job immediately, and you can see the periodic values here. I want to run hourly. Hourly once the job should run. Or daily you want to run daily, weekly, monthly. You want to run every 1 hour. You want to run this 1 hour every 1 hour? No. Every 10 minutes? Yes. Every 2 minutes? Yes. Every 5 minutes? Yes. Every 10 minutes once? Yes. I want to run every 1 hour once. Then select give the 1 hour. Then click on the OK button. Then I don't want to run on the Saturday, Sundays restrictions. Don't want to run on the Saturday, Sundays here. Then select the calendar, which Saturday, Sunday public holidays. Maybe German, all will follow the German standards, right? German calendar. So I don't want to run my job on Saturday and public holidays, right? Normally we won't get any salaries on the Saturday, Sunday, public holidays, right? Why? Because we have the restrictions in the job. And also I'm setting in my monthly job, like that you can set it out. If it's a periodic, that is the payroll job, you can set it here. Just click on the OK button, save button. Then hourly this job will run. Then click on the save button. Then this job is released now. The job is released now. So means the job which I created, user address check job, is released. It will run now. Then so where can we check whether the job is so successfully created or not, it's running or not? Where can we check? Go to the SM37 is the transaction code here. Here we can check the job name. SM36 is for the creation. 37 is for the, so 37 is for the monitoring and do the some administration tasks in the SM37. So select the, if you know the job name, you can give the job name. If you don't know, you only remember only 3 letters or 4 letters, you can give the user star. So then click on the execute button. Then you will see whether the job is completed or not. You can see the status of the job here, finished, which means the job is finished here. Just select the log and see the logs, what is happening in the job, what is happened here. Job is finished and it's finished. The job is finished here. The job is finished in the systems, right? So this job is finished in the systems, which means this job is successfully completed. So the next run is the next 1 hour. So hourly, right? Next is the 2007. Now 2007 means 8. So 77, it's executed. Now 87, the next job. Then is the next 77. So you don't need to run every 1 hourly. You can log in. You don't need to run it. System will take care of every 1 hour hourly. As you mentioned, the frequency is the 1 hour every hourly. So that every hour the job will run it automatically. You no need to worry about that one. So SM36 is the creations. 37 is for the monitoring, whether the job is successfully completed or not. Or you want to delete the job, select the job, go to the job status in the menu bar, you can delete it, right? So you want to change scheduling, you want to change it, you can change the scheduling also. I don't want to run, I want to run immediately every 1 minute. I want to run every 1 minute, I want to run it. Every 2 minutes, I want to run it. So that click on this button, save it. Then every 2 minutes, my job should run it. Then you can schedule it. Then this job will run every 2 minutes here. Now the job status is ready here. So you can see the how many status we have, the job status of the job status. Here, whenever you are creating the job, the time scheduled status. Then when you assign the time, it will come to the released status. Then immediately it will go to the ready, then active, then finished, then or cancelled. Then it will go to the cancelled status. So normally during the interview point of time, they may ask you multiple questions on these areas. How many types of job steps we have? How to create the background jobs? Yeah. So here you can see types of job status here: scheduled, released, ready, active, finished. Means if job is successfully finished, then you may say finished. So ready means when the job is going to run, that time it's ready for executions. Finished means successfully completed. Cancelled means job is cancelled due to some error. So now refresh it. This job is completed, right? The job which we scheduled, after that it is scheduled. Now again, one more job will complete it. At what time? Again, it's like so 1911, I guess. But because 7, 9, every 2 minutes, right? The job will run every 2 minutes once. This job will run here. Every 2 minutes, this job will run it. So that you can see every 2 minutes. Here, 1911, this job will run. If you wait 2 minutes, one more 2 minutes, then again this job will run automatically. You no need to do anything here. System will take care of these executions and everything. System will take care of all these executions and everything. It will take care of this one. But currently this job is getting delayed. It's not running. See here duration, your start date, start time, duration, how much time it's taken, and also delay. Is there any delay is responding? So why? Because currently each job, while job is running, each job is required the one free background work process is required. One free background work process is required here. Here, the background work process which are there here fully occupied here. Only one is there here. Out of 6, so 5 or 3 means definitely it should pick up now. But definitely it should pick up. It's fully free. It's free. Background jobs are background work process are free. So background work process are responsible to run the jobs. Without background work process, your job will not run. Without this, your jobs will not run. So background jobs are responsible to run the jobs here. So somehow our jobs, our background work process are not picking this one due to some errors. We can see it's supposed to run 11, but the delay is happening here. You can see the delay is happening. The background jobs are getting delayed in our systems because of the work process not picking. This is the best example. Without background work process, your job will not be run. So it will be released status only. It will be released status only. There might be some, we see, right, some errors with the work process here. In SM50, you see some errors with the your background work process. That is the reason it's not getting picked. It's errors. That is the reason all are error status. It's not getting picked. So if you see the logs, what is happening, then we will come to know. So that is the major thing we have in the systems, issues in the systems. Okay. So here, when you go to, once again, we will schedule it here, right? One job we scheduled. So one more job, we will schedule it with dummy job. We will schedule it here. You can listen, see carefully here again. Okay. Job name. Okay. You can set the job name here, anything you want to run immediately. Now I want to run. So tomorrow, not today, I want to run my job tomorrow at midnight. I want to run my job, or 7:45 at the same time I want to run my job. Then you can schedule only one time. I don't want to run anything here one time. What is the step? What is the program you want to run it here? So you can take it any program. It's not only like one program. You can take any program. So if you type it, search it RS star, you may get the multiple things here. Then check that variant. Hey, sometimes we may have to give the variant. So if the program is very high, then we have to give the variant here. So what is this variant here? Variant is the runtime import of the job, which will control the overall running of your job. Suppose the job will run this code, but if this code has thousands of lines, the job will run thousands of lines. Now you don't want to run thousands of lines. Only if you define the variant, based upon the variant, the variant will control the execution of your job. That is what main motive. Suppose when you are riding your bike or car, right, on the road, how your brake will control your overall speed, right? Same as like here. Bike is the job here, right? Bike is your job. Car is your job here. The job is running. What is running on the road? It is executing something. It is running, it's running, it's running. But how will you control the speed limit and everything? You will use the brakes and clutch. You will use it, right? So that brake and clutch is called the variant here. That variant will control the overall execution of the them. Maybe if I ask you definition wise, the variant is kind of runtime import of the job. Runtime import of the job, which will control the overall job execution. Some program there is no variant, you can directly go ahead and run it. It's not very mandatory. Without variant also you can run it. Just go ahead and save it. Then the job is released now. So then go to the SM37. Then we can check whether my job is completed or not. We can go ahead and check it out here. So, but we can go ahead and check it here. Still my job is not executing, right? The job is not executed here. So why? Because there is a delay, some issues with the work process. In the system, there are some issues with the work process. So this type of issues may face it. Sometimes, as usual, so we may get the monthly salary on time. Sometimes we may not get due to some job issues. Job will not run it due to some system issues. It will not execute. Job want to execute it, you will not get the payments, right? So that definitely we need to check all these things and everything in the systems. So why the job is not running? Some companies, they may use the SAP success, sometimes success factors, they may use it. A success factor is the payroll purpose. Some HR purpose, they may use the success factors. SAP, one of the module and another technology for the SAP. Some companies, they will use the third party. Some companies, they will use the third party everything by everything to payrolls and everything. So here also, suppose if they are using the SAP, we have to go to the SM36 and 37. We have to monitor it, all these things. So we have to monitor it. The product is same. The way of working is style same. The only thing is success factors, right? HR side, the functional team, they have some configurations. They have to do all this work and everything here. So that is the reason. So we have to create the jobs. Jobs are very important here. Jobs are very important here. So here, what you have to remember, instead of without the job means we have to go to the SA38 or SE38 manually. We have to execute everything here. That is manual execution means it may take longer time, and also sometimes we may miss it out the timelines. So instead of that, you can create a one job. It will execute whatever the report or program or what is the command. If you want to execute it, that will execute based upon the timelines. When whatever the timelines, yearly, monthly, every 5 minutes, every 10 minutes, that will be executed, the job. So the job has job steps. You need to remember the how many types of job steps, job startup conditions, right? And also job status. These three are very important to the job. Steps, three types of job steps. Above program, external command, external programs. Startup conditions means at what time you need to start it. You want to start, so immediately, then you need to select the immediately. You want to date and time you can give it. You want to run after the job, then you can give the after the job. Then after the event, you can give the after the event. So event means currently one event is happening. You want to run this job after that. One job is running. You want to run immediately after the job is completed. Currently the date and time is happening. You want to run after that. So like that, you want to execute all these things here. These are called the job startup conditions, right? Status. Once your job is executed, if it is successfully executed, that is the finished status. If it is the cancelled status. If it is the active means running. It's a running status. Released means you assigned the timelines. It's not at all executed. So those things you have to give it in the systems. Those things you have to give it in the systems. Those are the job startup conditions. These are the things you need to remember in your, so you have to remember it. Okay, this is about the job. So any questions from anyone?
Sir, I think we need to change the date there. We have scheduled the job for tomorrow, but we are checking with today's date, I guess. So that's why we were not able to see.
Okay, not that job. So okay, that job is fine. Here I am thinking is here this job is released.
Okay.
So it's still delay. Why? Because work process issues. So the job which we created, right? Yeah, it's true. It's true. You are correct. Here we need to change the date so that this will be this will be showed here. This will be showed in the systems. Otherwise, you can remove the this one. It will show the. You can filter it out. I mean, you want yesterday's date. You want to only active jobs. You want to schedule jobs. You can filter it out. You will get the all these jobs here. See here, you have filtered. So test job we executed. The job is scheduled to tomorrow at 7:45. Tomorrow at the same time, this job will execute it automatically. You don't need to run it. This job also will run it, but this job having some errors in the system, right? Due to some issues, some work process. So each job in the back end, one work process is required to run it. So that work process is called the vehicle. That vehicle is required here. So that vehicle is required. It will go and sit into the vehicle. The job will program will execute it. That is the main motive of this job background job executions, right? So what is your assignment for today? Normally, for each and every time you will get the assignments. Last couple of days I have not given the assignment. So for you, your assignment is you can execute, you can take any program. Normally you will get the requirement, the functional development team to run the program. Your requirement is in the system with your name, you need to create the one job. That job should run every day. Suppose I'm completing my assignment now. Okay, I'm completing my assignment. So because I am also taking the assignment, right? So I'm taking the assignment now. I want to run my job. So I want to run my job. I'm running my job now. Okay, any program you can choose it, not only this program, any program. Maybe the program it starts from RS star. That is the programs. Any program you can take it out. Any program you can take it out. So not a problem. Why? Because normally we will get the correct program from the functional and development team. Here we don't have anything, but if you schedule it any program, that is not a matter. So okay, you schedule it. The job is released. So when I go to SM37, execute it. So my job will run it now. My job is completed. See, my job is completed. So what it is completed? We go ahead here. It is created. It's completed. My job is created. It's created the spool also. Log also it is created. It's the spool log. Read it. What is there in that one? So my job is completed. And also the user jobs also getting completed. See, 3 jobs are getting completed. After the 715 delay seconds, the jobs are completed here. So my job is to filter all the groups, authorization groups in the system. It filtered all the groups. The report is generated, right? The report is generated. So my job, I scheduled it. My assignment is completed. Then I will send to the trainer. My assignment is completed like that. So same as like you also run. Every person has to run your job. Send me the screenshots. Or when I log into the system. So when I log into the system and then see all the jobs with your name, it should be completed. Okay. So that is the jobs you have to complete it. So that is the assignment. So one more